Hi, it's Eve, mother of all living, daughter of the sun. We're doing part 5 of Eve defends Columbus on Columbus Day. Picture of Melanie Lynn Spear being as Christopher Columbus. Okay, this is what mainstream includes to the marginalized from Forbes. Things you didn't know about Christopher Columbus from Will Jekyll, contributor, leadership strategy, entrepreneur, former CNN executive, best-selling author. Christopher Columbus, currently being as Melanie Lynn Spear, mother of 4 saints. These are the 4 saints: Swamiji, Babaji, Mirabai, and Saint Kabir. And she, the Saint Patrick, and her mother, Mary Magdalene, is the Saint Guru Nanak, and this is the Saint Guru Gurinder Singh Dhillon, God in the flesh. Okay, so Christopher Columbus, currently being as Melanie Lynn Spear, mother of 4 saints. Isis, the goddess of fertility, herself a saint in a parallel life, St. Patrick, sailed into the history books, talking about Christopher Columbus, 528 years ago, arriving in the New World on October 12, 1492. His duration there has ebbed and flowed depending on the cultural needs and mores of the time, but he's an undeniably important historical figure who kicked off an age of exploration whose ramifications are still felt today. Most Americans learned about Columbus at the beginning of a history unit in grade school, with maybe a refresher in high school. Beyond the few lines of a poem, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and the names of his ships, many Americans would be hard-pressed to come up with any more information about the man whose name is given to October furniture sales throughout the country. Former Christopher Columbus, former 2020 consumer reporter John Stossel reported that working on a boat is the most dangerous job in the world. Christopher Columbus crossed the Atlantic Ocean 4 times and back, so Christopher Columbus had the most dangerous job in the world. So did Adam. There's Adam. Okay, being as Michael Bublé, the first king of earth. He, being as singer Michael Bublé, worked with his grandfather on his fishing boat. He said that's when he became a man. Michael Bublé, be as in his parallel lives, Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, George Harrison, the most spiritual Beatle, Ray Charles, Sam Cooke, Jesse Belvin, Cole Porter, Cary Grant, and he projected himself as Michael Jackson. Alright, so let's move along. Like most historical figures, the story of Christopher Columbus is varied and nuanced, filled with heroics and shame, and far more detailed than most Americans would imagine. Here are 6 facts about Columbus, his times, and his achievements that you might have skipped in school. Until 1453, there wasn't much reason to sail to Asia. There was a perfectly good land route, the Silk Road, made famous by explorer Marco Polo, traversed by traders for hundreds of years. But when the Ottoman Turks, the Muslims, took Constantinople in 1453, they forbid Christian traders, which created a huge incentive to find new routes to the east. Lots of experts thought it was possible to reach Asia by sailing west. Most learned men of the 15th century were certain that it was possible to reach Asia by sailing west. Columbus was among them. Okay. But he may have gained his optimism by reading the calculations wrong, using the wrong conversion method in projecting his distances. The learned men of Portugal and Spain rejected Columbus's entreaties because his calculations seemed so off. Columbus was born in Italy, but he wrote in Spanish, not Italian. Columbus was truly a man of the world. He left Italy at age 10. He sailed to England, Ireland, maybe even Iceland, before settling and even marrying in Portugal. When his wife died and his proposal to sail west was rejected by the Portuguese monarch, he moved to Spain. When negotiations stalled there, he considered moving to France to gain support for his far-fetched idea. Columbus was owed 10% of all revenues derived from the New World. Talk about a great negotiation. Columbus convinced Spanish monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella that he should be given 10% of all revenues from his discovered lands, and be made governor of any lands he discovered. He turned out to be, it was alleged, that he was a bad governor, and he was arrested and his contract was abrogated. He and his heirs sued for hundreds of years. Heirs. H for mother, E for Eve. Mother Eve, her, IRS, Internal Revenue Service. I for pleasure, R for sex organ, clitoris. Pleasure, sex organ, clitoris, with your fingertip, or stop trying. The mother, T for the, R for mother, Y for I for pleasure, N for in, and G for gods. The mother I, pleasure in God. God realized man has so much light from his eyes, contacting her through his eyes, gives her the same, if not better, pleasure than when her husband tickles her clit until she submits. S for submit, U for you, B for be, M for my, I for pleasure, T for tickle, S for source. Submit you, be my pleasure, tickle source. Be my pleasure, tickle source. Source of tickle. Be my pleasurable source of tickle. Comes. C for C-O-N-C, concede. U for you, M for my, S for source. Comes. Concede you are my source. Concede you are my source, and I give you my attention. My for my, A-T for attorney, E for Eve, N for enters, T for thee, I for pleasure, O for order, N for engage. My attorney Eve enters the pleasure order. Engage. Get together. Make a commitment. Let's see, now this is upside down. What's going on? Most men can't be gentle enough to just tickle the delicate clitoris. Most men don't have the patience, the stamina to keep tickling until she's gently tickling, until she succumbs to the good feeling of the sensation once her clitoris becomes receptive, hot, and comes. Does she have the patience to not move as you tickle? Can she not undermine your self-confidence that you can do this? By patiently, rhythmically tickling, repetitiously, can you take her from 0 to 10? From feeling neutral to feeling hot enough to come? Are you man enough? If she'll keep still and let you work her into a subtle frenzy, and if you'll keep on keeping on tickling her clit even when it seems like she's never going to come, if you two can keep doing your parts correctly, she being still yet paying attention to her clit, is how her clit is feeling. And your part is to stay very, very gentle, tickling her clitoris. She will eventually come, submit. Then you'll give in and come with her. You'll submit to her submission. You'll submit as she's submitting. That's the greatest feeling in the world. Two being as one. Two coming together. She, Eve, is on the path of submission. Only 1 in a million can succeed on the path of submission. It is much harder than the path of meditation. No frills, 2.5 hours a day of meditation doesn't compare to how hard it is on the path of submission. If you bring her to submission, tickle her until she submits to the feeling and go into it mentally, emotionally, and become one with it, then you having been focusing on her clit feeling, your fingertips tickling, you become one with her coming clitoris. So you naturally start and finish coming with her. You'll be her hero. She will feel gratitude and awe when she sees you, when she's with you. And you will feel gratitude to her for letting you prove to her and to yourself that you are man enough to be gentle enough for a long enough period of time to make her give in to the pleasure you're giving her clitoris, to giving her time to work until she's giving you time to work until you turn her clitoris into feeling being a sweet spot. Sweet spot. S for she, W for wet, E for Eve, E for energy, T for transfer. She wet, Eve, E-T, energy transfer. Spot, S for she, P for present, O for order, T for tickle. She present order, tickle her clit. What is ecstasy? Rapture, bliss. You feel her clit, energy, ecstasy. Elation, euphoria, relation. The second definition, ecstasy, an emotional or religious frenzy or sexual orgasm or trance-like state, originally one involving an experience of mystic self-transcendence, transcendence, losing yourself in the feeling. That is love. Becoming the other, losing your identity during submission, while submitting. Okay? That's what Charan Singh, being as Jesus Christ, said. Love is becoming the other. Love is losing your identity. Alright? So there you go. Thank you for watching. I may have more on Christopher Columbus for a part 6. We'll see. Thank you.